then I think you'll see more and more corporations adopting Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Bitcoin's the world's most secure computer network. And the idea of the ad is I spend a lot of money to put a banner ad to get people to click so that they'll fill out a survey or so they'll sign up for an account. Well, why not just give the money directly to the customer or directly to the prospect? Since we started, our enterprise market value has gone from about $600 million to more than $6 billion. So we've 10x the enterprise value of the company. If we trace our performance back to August of 2020 when we adopted a Bitcoin strategy, Bitcoin's been the #1 performing asset of all the possible treasury assets. If you contrast it to the S&P index or NASDAQ or gold or silver or bonds, you couldn't have done better than to have selected Bitcoin. And MicroStrategy's stock has actually outperformed Bitcoin as of just a few days ago. So I think Bitcoin was up like 140%. And MicroStrategy is up a bit more than that. It's definitely been a winning treasury strategy. Nobody wants to invest in a company that's holding tons of cash or tons of treasury bonds, because from their point of view, cash is never going to outperform the S&P index, at least they don't expect it to. And they could own treasury bonds themselves. So by us adopting Bitcoin, we were able to tap into an asset which has been appreciating it in excess of 50% for the past 3 years. And 50% is better than 3%. But we also were able to plug our balance sheet into the crypto economy. And because we plugged into Bitcoin, that meant that MicroStrategy as a stock serves as an institutional on-ramp for other investors. And as you know, if I bought a commodity on a crypto exchange, it would be challenging for me to figure out what the custody situation is. And I can't borrow money to buy it, and I can't borrow against it so easily. So if you're an institutional investor and you wanted Bitcoin exposure, you could buy our stock. You could buy it on the NASDAQ through your broker-dealer. You can borrow against it. You can borrow to buy it. It's a security, not a commodity. And so what would be a 12-month, very, very difficult process and very expensive process becomes maybe a 12-minute or even a 120-second process. So it turned out that it worked out really well for us as a company, but also it created a compelling opportunity for all of our investors, and it made us unique. Right now, the SEC has an initiative to bring crypto exchanges into regulatory compliance. And I think as those exchanges start to register with the SEC, that'll be a big deal and a big milestone forward. I think that'll open up the path and the door for Bitcoin spot ETFs, and that'll be a big deal. And I think as we see more guidance coming from the FDIC and the Treasury on how banks can custody Bitcoin, I think that'll be a big deal. Then I think you'll see more and more corporations adopting Bitcoin as a treasury asset. I think that the Lightning network represents an open, permissionless protocol for secure transactions worldwide. Right now, the way that money moves is on a credit network run by banks. So if I wanted to take $100 and I wanted to send it to you, I would probably pay a 2 to 3% fee, and it would take 45 days to settle. So if that $100 moves 40 times, it'll take about 5 to 6 years, and the banks will have all the money and you'll have none of the money. The Lightning network is a protocol that allows the money to move 40 times in about a minute, and you get to keep the money. But it also is an open, permissionless protocol, And that means a bunch of entrepreneurs in South Africa can create an application on the weekend that works with an application running in Nigeria, that works with a bank running in Tokyo, that works with another retailer in Istanbul, and that'll work with someone in New York, and that'll work with 100 Silicon Valley startups. And they all can figure out how to integrate that protocol into their mobile app, into their website, into their product, into their service. Lightning represents the protocol that allows billions and billions of people to transact with each other. And clearly, it's got to be instant final settlement, it's got to be programmable, but it can't be proprietary. Nobody owns them, no one's cashing in on them, and because they're permissionless, they're open to everybody, and that means that people will trust them. The solution that Bitcoin offers is the idea that someone can create an identity and they can post a security deposit, say $20 or some 100,000 Satoshis. And then once you posted that deposit, you can cryptographically sign that credential and then use that credential as your verification to cross the iMessage network or the Twitter network or the YouTube network or a Microsoft network or a Facebook network. And you can integrate those networks together. So you can integrate the blue checks from all those networks together. You can log in and authenticate as a real person onto that network. This other very interesting promise of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin's the world's most secure computer network, because Bitcoin is a nation-state resistant cyber network. If I gave you $100 billion and you had 4 years, and you spent that entire 4 years with that 100 billion trying to build hash power to attack the network, you could somewhat slow down my message, but you couldn't stop my message after 4 years and $100 billion. A decade after Satoshi mined Bitcoin, Satoshi could prove that they're the owner of those wallets by signing a message instantly. And so 100 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 20 years from now, someone could prove that they are the ones that logged that last will and testament or that document cryptographically on the Bitcoin network. And so that makes Bitcoin the most trustworthy truth network in the world. The scary, terrifying part of AI is that people can actually create videos of Michael Saylor saying anything they want me to say, right, that sounds like me, that looks like me. And so the question really will be, in 10 years, how will I cryptographically prove that I said it and that I meant it? And I think that in that regard, you can see the real power of a network like Bitcoin, where you can prove you said it, you can prove you own it. But I think that the world is waking up to the benefits of the Bitcoin network as the ultimate cybersecurity network and cyber truth network. And entrepreneurs are going to start to see that there are myriad applications using Bitcoin and using Lightning to cross-integrate truth, integrity, authentication, authenticity. Bitcoin represents that network today. And the security of that Bitcoin network, it comes from a number of things. One thing is the highly decentralized nature of the nodes that store that blockchain. The second thing that secures a network is the network of Bitcoin miners. So the Bitcoin network is the world's most secure cyber network because it is backed by the greatest amount of digital power in the world. And so the elegant solution that Satoshi came upon was to combine analog energy with customized digital computation. And the result of that is extreme cybersecurity. World War IV will be fought in cyberspace and perhaps in real space by who knows what instruments, maybe AI-driven vehicles. But in that environment, Bitcoin is more important than ever. We've created with MicroStrategy Lightning the ability for you to plug a module into your enterprise and instantly generate a Lightning wallet for every one of your employees. If you have 200,000 employees, in 1 hour, you could generate 200,000 Lightning wallets or Bitcoin wallets. Then we convert every enterprise email address into a Lightning address. So whatever email address you've been using for the past 20 years now is a Lightning receiver that flows into your Lightning wallet. And now we've integrated all of the systems that companies use, like its learning system or community system or email system or Zoom system, right into that Lightning rewards module, so that when you show up to your Zoom, you get Satoshi reward. And if you show up on time, you get the reward, but if you're 5 minutes late, you don't. So I found whenever I have a meeting on Zoom, I make it a point to not be late because I actually want the Satoshi reward. It does work, even to me, it absolutely works. Companies spend billions of dollars on digital advertising, and they give it to Google or Facebook or run all sorts of other ads. And the idea of the ad is, I spend a lot of money to put a banner ad to get people to click so that they'll fill out a survey or so they'll sign up for an account. Well, why not just give the money directly to the customer or directly to the prospect? So one of the nice things about what we're doing with MicroStrategy Lightning is, let's say you're Amazon and you have 150 million accounts. You can also plug that into your directory and generate 150 million Bitcoin wallets, and you can convert every Amazon account login into a Lightning address. If you fill out a book review, Amazon can give you Satoshis. And if you fill out a survey applying for an Amazon credit card, they can give you Satoshis. And if you get approved, they can give you more Satoshis. And if you fill out some kind of product review and it gets 100 upvotes, they can give you 100x more Satoshis. So it's a way to reward customers. It's a way to attract prospects. It's a way to gamify and make fun things. And it's a way to enhance a product. And the thing that makes it all possible is microtransactions and streaming via the Lightning network, because we can do this in a second. We can do it for 1/30th of a penny. The goal of MicroStrategy is we're going to give our thousands and thousands of enterprise customers a module so they can safely and securely deploy all sorts of compelling monetary applications to their employees, customers, partners, and prospects so that they can make their products and services better. I think the good news there is Bitcoin is ready for it. In order to be the open, permissionless, ethical protocol for monetary transactions on a global basis, you need to be a commodity, an asset without an issuer. And that's what Bitcoin is, due to the legacy of Satoshi. But if you want to be technically sound, you need to be an extremely well-engineered, decentralized protocol. And so Bitcoin is extraordinarily well-engineered with that stable block size capped at the 4 megabytes. At the 10-minute block frequency has proven to be very stable. The extremely decentralized node network and the extremely well-developed Bitcoin mining network creates a very, very stable, sound base to run a digital monetary network. You can theoretically create a digital commodity, a Doge coin, if it was theoretically decentralized, or some other cryptocurrency. But if you don't cap it at 21 million, And if you're not sure that it's truly decentralized and no one can ever break that cap, what you've got is a digital commodity which is going to increase in supply from time to time, like Dogecoin increases in supply. You don't have digital scarcity, but a digital scarcity is better than a digital commodity, because what I'd really rather have is something, I don't want digital gold, I want digital gold where you can't make any more gold ever, right? And gold isn't that. You can find infinite gold in the universe. So I want something which is not digital gold. I want a digital number, sequentially numbered 21 million gold coins and no more forever. I don't think anybody could, in the first 12 months of Bitcoin, say, we're sure it's ready. But I think that after years and years, and after 14 years of seasoning, we now have enough experience to say, yeah, it stood the test of time, it is ethically sound, it is technically sound, and it is economically sound.